Chamber will come to order. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 28th, 2024 East Brunswick Township Council meeting. Will everyone please rise, if you can, as we salute the flag with our Pledge of Allegiance and remain in position for a moment of personal reflection. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Township Clerk, Ms. Lawful, please call roll and read our statement of adequate notice.
Councilman Bahal?
Here.
Councilman Wendell?
Here.
Councilwoman Winston?
Here.
Councilwoman Zembicki?
Here.
And Council President McAvoy.
Here.
Also present, Mayor Brad Cohen.
Here.
Administrator Joseph Cusculo.
Here.
Township Attorney Anthony Iacoca.
Here.
And Deputy Clerk Lauren Morris. Present. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law, 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and the Asbury Park Press newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Council, you have before you Resolution 24-304, adopting our meeting minutes from the October 14th meeting. May I have a motion?
Motion approved.
And a second?
Second.
Is there a need for clarification or correction on any of these minutes? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zembicki?
Yes.
Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Council, we have two proclamations from the mayor's office. First, we have a proclamation proclaiming the month of November as New Jersey State Federation of Women's Club Membership Month. Councilwoman Zembicki, will you please address the matter?
Thank you. Do we have anybody coming?
We have a big group tonight.
Awesome. Come join me. Come back, come join me. Hi, everyone. Awesome, awesome. This is a long proclamation, so that's a lot of good work here. All right, good evening, everyone. Whereas the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs of the General Federation of Women's Clubs was organized on November 16th, 1894, and has continued to exist as one of the largest and oldest non-denominational service organizations of volunteer women in the state of New Jersey. And whereas members of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs, of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, throughout the 130-year history, have worked in their communities to assist in activities such as the founding of the New Jersey College for Women, now Douglas College, preserving the Palisades, and supporting the establishment of the community of public libraries, and have provided grants and funding for the Special Olympics, UNICEF, Operation Smile, Autism New Jersey, CASA of the New Jersey Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Children, Operation Chill Out, Emmanuel Cancer Foundation for the years 2024 to 2026 as a special project. The New Jersey that's spelled wrong. The New Jersey Children's Alliance, which promotes hope, healing, and justice for child abuse victims by supporting child advocacy centers throughout the state with training, resources, advocacy, and leadership. And whereas the Women's Club of East Brunswick, a member of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs, of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, is celebrating 71 years of community service during its 24-25 club year to this community through support and donations for Arbor Day, Camp Daisy, the East Brunswick Public Library, scholarships at local high schools, the East Brunswick Museum, the local VFW, military service men and women, local families in need through programs sponsored by the East Brunswick Recreation and Community Services, Ronald McDonald House, local domestic violence and homeless shelters, veterans and active servicemen, in addition to other local, state, and national charities. That's a lot of work, so thank you very much. Whereas the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs of the General Federation of Women's Clubs provides programming to enable women in the communities to have excellent resource materials to accomplish goals through volunteer service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Brad Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim November as New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs Membership Month in recognition of the many hours of service to this community and others, and encourage all residents to support the Women's Club of East Brunswick. Be it further proclaimed that Civic Center Drive shall be renamed the East Brunswick's Women's Club for the week of November 11th through the 17th, given under my hand in the Great Seal of the Township of New Jersey on this 28th day of October in the year 2024, our mayor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And would you like to say something, ladies? You have lots to say.
Okay. Thank you, Dana. Good evening. My name is Lori Lax. I'm the president of the East Brunswick Women's Club. With me is Laura Pechar, our vice president, our past president, Linda, and some of our board members, some of our Women's Club members. It is a great honor as president of the East Brunswick Women's Club to accept this membership proclamation on behalf of our club members. Thank you, Mayor Cohen, members of the East Brunswick Town Council, for recognizing this club. It means so much to all of our members. The East Brunswick Women's Club is a member of the New Jersey State Federation of Women's Clubs, and I think Dana said it, celebrating 130 years of service this year, and our local club here is celebrating 71 years of service. Recently, the Women's Club filled holiday stockings for active military personnel that are deployed overseas. We raised money for UNICEF, donated items for children in waiting at child advocacy centers when abuse has been suspected, made floral centerpieces to be given to assisted living facilities, and will be providing treats with messages of thanks to our local veterans. We raised awareness regarding breast cancer this month by planting pink ribbons at the municipal complex. We donate to various food banks within our local area each month. We also raise money for scholarships to local high school seniors, as well as support many of the charitable organizations, including the current special state project, New Jersey Children's Alliance. I'd like to ask Laura, actually, to share a few special thoughts with you as well.
Good evening. I am the membership chair for the East Brunswick Women's Club, and basically the mission of the Women's Club is to bring together women in the Township of East Brunswick and the local area for the purpose of promoting civic, educational, and social activities leading to service and fellowship. And as we've mentioned, we have been around for 71 years, and we currently have an active membership of 63 women, and we also have a group of inactive ladies as well, all who are passionate about volunteering for their community. Membership is open to women of any age who would like to make new friends, share their talents, and have an interest in working towards enhancing the lives of others. We believe that together we can make a difference both within ourselves and within our community. Just as for reference, our meetings are held the second Tuesday of every month from September through May, and we meet at 7:30 p.m. on the second Tuesday at the Knights of Columbus House at St. Bartholomew Church at 470 Riders Lane. And our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 12th. And again, we welcome all ladies to learn about this great organization. If you're interested, you may check out our website, East Brunswick Women's Club, or you can also send an email to East Brunswick Women's Club, and that's WOMANS club@gmail.com, or you can reach out to any one of us if you happen to see us. Thank you again for your time tonight, and thank you for the honor that you bestowed on the East Brunswick Women's Club. Thank you. Thank you.
Council, ladies, before you leave, I want to get a picture, please. Mayor Cohen, get you in the middle, sir. This is your proclamation.
Double up, folks. Kind of like when the Little League team comes. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Thank you.
Next, we have a proclamation proclaiming the month of October as Hadassah Month in the Township of East Brunswick. Councilwoman Winston, will you please address the matter?
Thank you, Council President. Is anyone here from Hadassah? We'll read this together. Okay, we have a proclamation for Hadassah's East Brunswick chapter. Whereas Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America, was founded in 1912 by Henrietta Zold. This volunteer organization inspires a commitment to the land, the people, and the future of Israel. And whereas the East Brunswick chapter of Hadassah continues to foster and enrich the Jewish cultural and spiritual traditions which have attributed so greatly to humanitarian values. East Brunswick Hadassah advocates for women issues such as heart health, nutrition, and preventative care. And whereas, recently, the East Brunswick Hadassah received the prestigious Environmental Achievement Award for its Zoom presentation, Option Green Food Choices for a Small Planet. They partnered with the Friends of East Brunswick Environmental Commission, the East Brunswick Sustainability Task Force, and the East Brunswick Public Library. The award given by the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions recognizes exceptional projects carried out by environmental commissions and nonprofit organizations that benefit the local environment. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Brad J. Cohen, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, along with the Township Council, do hereby recognize East Brunswick Hadassah for their many hours of service to this community, encourage all residents to support this organization throughout the year, and be it further proclaimed that Civic Center Drive shall be renamed Hadassah Drive for the period of October 21st through October 30th, 2024. Thank you. And I just want to say, as an aside, before I let you speak, when I married my husband 10 years ago, we were second marriage, I converted to Judaism. And growing up in East Brunswick, I was very aware of Hadassah, the organization, and all the good things you do for the community, and Tikkun Olam. And so I chose Hadassah as my Jewish name. So I just wanted to let you know that. And with that, I'll let you speak.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. We are very grateful to Mayor Cohen and the members of the council for this recognition for us. Locally, Hadassah has served our community with such wonderful programs as our breast cancer program. We also had the history of Israel in the Mideast, and that is going to be aired on Zoom tomorrow, Setting the Record Straight. In addition to that, we have put on numerous programs on the Holocaust, and we have created 3 programs on sustainability, and those 3 programs dealt with getting rid of plastic. And recently, as was mentioned in the proclamation, Dr. Yvette Schussel and our program leader, Linda Lador, created the program Option Green, which is, they received a prestigious environmental award for, and this was about food choices, making better food choices for a small planet. Do you know that 40% of our landfill is food waste? That's a pretty high number. So this program was very significant, and Hadassah is committed to helping the environment in ways that we can. Hadassah is very proud to serve the East Brunswick community, and we thank you so much for this recognition. Thank you so much.
Please. And members of the audience, don't feel obligated to remain for the rest of the meeting. It's okay that you get up and exit. Unless you want us to stay for some exciting items about expenditures. Council, we have a discussion item regarding the best practices inventory. There was a document in your packet, as well as this being spearheaded by our business administrator, Mr. Criscuolo. This is a discussion matter only without a council vote. Mr. Criscuolo, floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. As required by state law, yearly the township must complete the best practice inventory in the online platform. These are submitted to the state and posted on the best practices website there for anyone to peruse. 90% of the questions on the inventory are same year to year to year to year. The few other ones that were added this year, we scored extremely high and high enough to receive all of our state aid. So that's the key for this. It's a measurement from year to year to kind of make sure you're in line with state laws and other best practices as defined by the Department of Community Affairs. So what we just did is met the requirements to have the discussion at the council meeting, and certainly if there's any questions, I'd be glad to entertain them. I don't profess to know all the answers. This is a team effort, as always, in East Brunswick. Some of the answers are supplied by the engineering department, finance department, legal, so on and so forth. But as required by law, it has to be on the agenda, and there's no vote or anything necessary. That we just have to notify you that it's completed and submitted to the state, and we meet all the requirements for our state aid.
Thank you, Mr. Criscuolo. Any comments from council? Mayor Cohn.
Thank you, Council President. This is a pet peeve of mine. You knew I'm probably going to say this anyway, but I know that they say that this is a requirement to be fulfilled by each township in order to get its state aid. State aid, when we're looking at township state aid, it's different than school state aid. But township state aid is otherwise known as energy tax credits. Energy tax credits is the money that's owed to each town because of energy right-of-ways that energy companies put in each township, and it's basically taxes that are owed to the township. The state took over running that years ago, but it is our money. It is each township's money. So essentially, this is a inventory that we have to do needs to be approved in order for us to get the money that we're already entitled to anyway, because it's actually our money. But if they say state aid long enough, it's going to start fooling people into believing that it's never really been your money and that it's money that the state's giving to you, and the state is giving you nothing that you don't already deserve. So just want to make sure we're all clear about making sure what we know what state aid is energy tax credits. It is our money.
Thank you, Mayor Cohen.
You're welcome.
Council, we have one ordinance for a second reading and a public hearing. Deputy Clerk, would you please read the ordinance 24-29?
Capital ordinance for the Township of East Brunswick, providing for various road improvement projects in and by the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,245,800 therefore.
May I have a motion to accept?
Motion approved.
Second?
Second.
I will now open this issue to the public. If there is anyone wishing to address the council on this issue alone, I'll close the public portion. Council, any further
Council
comments?
President, just one comment.
Oh.
This is our road improvement program for next year, in addition to other road improvements that we plan to do.
Correct.
Correct, and this is local fiscal recovery funds that we'll
Right.
be using for this.
Yep.
And this is something that we have traditionally, under Mayor Cohen's leadership, have gone out early for our road improvement programs the year before.
Yeah,
to
this year we'll do it
lock in
two
rates
phases.
and all of that.
Yeah, this year we'll be doing it in two phases. One phase is to spend this money for the amount, because the local recovery funds have to be appropriated and budgeted for it, and a PO needs to be created before the end of the year. So that's why we're breaking it into two phases this year, just so the council understands.
Thank you.
Deputy Clerk, please call roll.
Councilman Hall,
Yes.
Councilman Wendell,
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston,
Yes.
Councilwoman Zibicki,
Yes.
Council President McAvoy.
Yes. We'll now move on to our reports section of the meeting. Mayor Cohen?
Thank you, Council President. A couple things I wanted to bring up to the public. First, the last couple of weekends have been absolutely jam-packed with a lot of things that are going on in town, and I'm just hoping that most people have an opportunity to make themselves aware of the things that are going on. That could be through our township website, signs throughout the township. Some of the online newspapers have all made the public aware of some of them, but have to say, I almost needed jogging shoes this weekend to get to all of them. There was soccer club, Coffee with a Cop, Harvest Fest. There was a band competition, marching band competition up at the high school. There were several trunk or treats going on. There was a Diwali celebration over at the library. That's on top of the Diwali celebration that we had at the Community Arts Center a week before that. So these are just a small fraction of some of the things that were going on in town. So I hope folks are getting the information about what's going on, because it's jam-packed, and I think that's exciting to have that many things going on in the township. At the same time, we have been at a record number of store openings the last couple of weeks, doing ribbon cuttings, and it's pretty wide variety of things and retail that's been moving into the town, whether it's restaurants, recreation activities, beauty salons, the toy store today over at the Brunswick Square Mall, Slime University, which is a fun, interactive type of place at the mall for young, well, actually any age group kids. And it's just amazing that the mall is trying to reinvent itself. The business corridor is really kind of booming, and this is just the beginning of really an iceberg of things that we already know about out there that will be opening relatively soon within the next year. Rita's Ice is over at the Mid-State Mall. Floor Decor is about to open. Cava, which is a Mediterranean restaurant where the Boston Market used to be. again, that's just scratching the surface, but I know people like to concentrate on businesses that are leaving, but in most instances, they are replaced by new businesses that are coming in to take their place. And most times it's exciting and new and different, and it's just what we see with change, but it's exciting, and I wanted to make sure everybody knew that that was going on. The other thing that I wanted to read into the record is a program that the Township Council and myself through the Mayor's Office worked on regarding the TNR issue that people had brought to our attention over the last couple of weeks here at the Township Council meetings. And so I just want to read into the record the program that we came up with together that I think is exciting and will address most of the issues that people have asked about. And so this is a township program to support TNR here in East Brunswick. TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, and Release of community cats. Over the past several months, the Township Council and I have had several members of the East Brunswick and surrounding communities advocate at council meetings for support of TNR efforts for feral cats. While we all applaud and support these efforts, several of the members have demanded that the township change ordinances related to management of the feral cat population. These changes that they seek would require the township to add new law enforcement personnel to manage or oversee cat colonies, handle cat-related complaints, and remove township enforcement requirements imposed on those whose behaviors result in safety and health risks to the community. The added costs to taxpayers for these changes would conservatively top $300,000 a year. Before we consider any changes to personnel or ordinances, it's important to define the problem. I met with several members of the TNR group over 3 years ago when they first brought this issue to my attention. As far back as 2021, I asked the group to provide evidence to define and quantify the feral cat problem here in East Brunswick. This could have been provided by determining 1, the number of calls to police regarding feral cats, 2, the number and costs of TNR procedures provided by any group over a period of time, or 3, the number of cat colonies managed by the group or others. This information was finally provided to me 2 months ago, and it does not substantiate the changes that are being demanded of the township and paid for with your tax dollars. The township did its own research. We consulted with several surrounding communities, animal rights professionals, and other TNR advocates in the township before coming to this conclusion. Additionally, it is rare for the township to use its enforcement rights, but there are isolated cases where this is necessary. To be clear, these enforcement rights have not been used in the last 4 years. When it has been used, it's usually employed for someone who's been hoarding or feeding so many cats that the animals become a health and safety risk to their neighbors or community. In these rare hoarding cases, the underlying cause is not our ordinances, it's mental illness. We will not be changing any of our ordinances, as our primary role is the safety and security of those that live, work, and commute in the township. We can all agree that there are many laudable and committed advocates for many worthy causes in the township. Such advocacy includes food insecurity, homelessness, mental health, special needs, veterans' rights. The role of government is not to provide taxpayer funds for each of these causes. If we did this, where do you draw the line? With this understanding, the Township Council and I are not tone deaf to the volunteer work being done to keep feral cat population under control. We have looked at the fees collected from cat licensing and have decided to take $6,600 per year starting January 1st of 2025 from these funds and place it in an account that can be assessed by any person or group providing TNR vaccine services on feral cats in East Brunswick. Once the fund has been used, it will not be replaced until the following year. This will be available whether the work is being provided by a nonprofit group or an individual committed to the TNR cause here in the township. The dollar figure was limited because any higher number would require a public bidding process. Additionally, based on the information provided to the township, this will cover over half of the procedures performed in any year to date. Once the details have been worked out, information on how to assess the funds will be made public and put on the township website and Facebook page. We believe that this is a fair and equitable approach to this problem as it helps defray the costs being borne by well-meaning residents. Additionally, it does not involve changes to the ordinances that ensure public safety, and it is paid from animal licensing fees, which do not impact residential property taxes. Finally, let us thank those who have advocated for this cause. As in many issues, active listening and engagement with our community usually leads to an equitable and fair solution to most problems. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Cohen. Our Business Administrator, Mr. Criscuolo.
Yes, a few things for this evening. Just to remind people, leaf collection will begin November 4th. Please put your leaves between the curb and the sidewalk. Do not put it in the roadway. Putting leaves in the roadway is hazardous. Also washes the leaves down into the catch basins, causing flooding if there was subsequent rains, storms. We will not pick up leaves that are in the street. Obviously, people haven't gotten the message. There's been several instances where we've put it out on Facebook. All the electronic news outlets have received it. Today at 6 o'clock, if you're on Civic Ready, you received that announcement. That announcement will be going out every 3 days for the next 4 cycles so that people get that. So we will commence that next week. Naturally, next Tuesday is Election Day. There will be no collection on that day, and the municipal dump will be closed on that day. Leaf bags will be collected during the same time as loose leaf. The bags should be, once again, not in the street, on the curb line, so we can have the free flow of water, and that garbage collection can commence as required. Also, we got notice today from the state and the East Brunswick Fire Protection Unit that bonfire, fireworks, fire pits, of anything of that like are forbidden. And this will be enforced by the fire official. So we received notice. This is pretty much a statewide ban because of the drought. We're going to get minor sprinkles this evening, a little bit on Thursday, and they don't anticipate lifting this ban until there's substantial rainfall. So they asked me to announce that this evening. Any questions on that can be sent to the Fire Prevention Unit in Fire Districts 1, 2, and 3. Thank you, sir.
Our attorney, Mr. Iacocca.
Thank you, Council President. I have one item on the consent agenda is resolution number 24-310. This resolution amends Resolution 15701, which extends the affordable housing controls of the homes in Kingswood Station. Back in 2015, the township passed a resolution, 15701, which extended the controls. However, 9 homes were accidentally left off the list. So this resolution adds those 9 homes on that list. Thank you.
Right. I don't know anything about the accident, but thank you.
There are quite a few properties listed on the schedule, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Our Township Deputy Clerk or our Township Clerk, I don't know who's going to be doing the speaking.
I will, Council
Okay.
President. So I would like to report briefly on our general election. So we are 8 days away from the 2024 general election. The general election will be held next week, Tuesday, November 5th. For those who are not able to vote on Election Day, which is November 5th, you are able to vote early. So we do have early voting, which started on October 26th, and it will continue until November 3rd. Early voting will be held at the Community Arts Center, and that will be 721 Cranberry Road. So once again, early voting will be held or continue to be held at the Community Arts Center, which is located at 721 Cranberry Road. Polls are open from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m., except for Sundays, in which the polls will be open from 10 to 6. So on Sunday, November 3rd, the polls will be closed at 6 p.m. And that will be the last day of early voting, by the way, November 3rd. For those who have received their mail-in ballot, there are 3 ways to return your mail-in ballot. You can submit it using the U.S. Postal Service at no cost to you whatsoever. You can also drop it off at the Board of Elections located at 26B Kennedy Boulevard here in East Brunswick, or you can conveniently utilize our ballot drop box, which is located within our municipal complex by our police department and our municipal court parking lot. By the way, if you do use the U.S. Postal Service, I do want to urge you to ensure that your ballot is submitted on time. It must be postmarked on November 5th. If your ballot is postmarked on November 6th, unfortunately, your ballot may not be counted, so please be mindful of that. And that is all I have to report. I do hope everyone go out and vote on November 5th. Please exercise your civic duty. This is an essential election. Thank you.
Council, any committee or board reports?
Oh.
Okay. I will now open the meeting to the public. Deputy Clerk, will you please read our public comment statement?
Public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to address Council President? Mr. Ingrasini?
Mr. Mayor, Council, Mr. President, Tom Ingrasani, Deerfield Road. I just have a couple of safety questions. I picked my grandson up at the bus stop on Deerfield Road in Fairfield, and it's like the kids come out of high school, zooming across the street with no hands on the bicycles, and without looking. Sometimes I had to actually put my hand out to stop a car. It's just a dangerous thing. And I noticed they don't have any helmets on. What is the requirement for helmet? I thought it was 16, when I remember anyway. But none of them I see have helmets on.
I think it's a Board of Education issue, Mr. Ingrasini, wouldn't you?
No, I think it's
No?
a safety issue.
A safety issue? Have you tried talking with the Board of Ed?
Excuse me?
Have you tried talking at a Board of Education meeting on this issue?
No.
Because I know you come to us
But I
quite
know-
regularly.
I heard from the police department, they're supposed to have helmets that's under 16 years old. You need them. I mean,
And therefore, the children who are riding their bikes without the helmets should be,
at least one, the parents should be notified because it's a dangerous situation.
Mr. Crisculo, can you comment on this?
Sure. Did you report it to the traffic safety unit, Lieutenant Gordon or Lieutenant
Well, I
Brian?
figured I'd bring it up here, that you could help me out, so.
Okay. I'm just asking a question if you reported it to them.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But to me, it's a dangerous situation because people go speeding down the block, and it's,
I'll report it to them in the morning.
Okay.
that's all I wanted to know. The second one, what is anybody know the curfew on trick-or-treating?
Is that?
I don't.
There's no curfew.
No
Right.
curfew.
I mean, there's a
Because all the
level of
nuts
common
running around
sense.
today, I don't want to,
Right.
I don't want to get in trouble.
The factors could be, A, you run out of candy, okay? And that's where, at the McAvoy household, my wife will just give like handfuls to the children. I give them like 2. But still,
What time is Donna there? I'll come by.
No, I just worry about,
what I'm trying to say is, there comes a time
Common sense.
that evening when we put a sign up too, sorry, we're not that we're out of candy, but it's like 9:30 at night and it's
no,
time
I
to go to
know,
bed.
but you don't want these nuts to rob in your house either. That's what I was worried about. they force your way into the house,
Okay, then I think, is it a phone call again, Mr. Criscuolo?
I think then you just lock your door and don't answer.
Yeah.
I know, but
I don't know about the government telling people when to put limits on trick or treating.
all right, no, I thought there was, that's what I'm asking. And,
Okay.
Election day is coming up. People vote with their heart, so I could tell you, and good luck to all yous here, okay?
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Right. Anyone else wishing to address the council president?
Yes.
Please.
How you doing? Good. Steve Conradi, 21 South Drive.
Steve, give me the last name again.
Conradi, C-O-N-R-A-R-D-Y.
Thank you.
In 2014, the Turnpike Authority expanded the Turnpike entrance to 2 lanes, and the people of the Lawrence Brook area came together to put up a wall. And one of the things that they first were going to charge East Brunswick of like the charges for the wall, but our neighborhood came together and forced the Turnpike to actually pay for it because it had no benefit to East Brunswick whatsoever. They were all going in from the north direction and weren't even coming from East Brunswick.
The township did contribute to that.
What?
The township did contribute to that.
Okay, well, they shouldn't have.
Okay, you have the floor.
And also, during that time, the mayor, which was David Stahl, ensured us that the access to our neighborhood would not be limited at all, which now they actually kind of limited the entrance into our neighborhood.
I used to cut through quite regularly.
Yeah, so like, I don't,
know
my
exactly
my question is when are they going to return access? There's an area where there's a turnaround that used to go, it's surveyed into as a turnaround for Route 18, both southbound and northbound. It also is an access into the Lawrence Brook area. So Lawrence Brook has a lot of folks that are older in age, and this gave access to like ambulance and also for people that are home caregivers to get into that area quite quickly. Now there's a gate that blocks off that area for people to come into the Lawrence Brook area. I don't know if you know which area you're talking.
You're talking about the access that went into the Turnpike facility and then down underneath Route 18 and came back to Gage Road.
Yeah, it's the
I didn't know it was
this area in
Yeah,
Gage.
that's the one I'm talking about.
On the far right
From the
is where...
northbound side of 18, you would pull into the Turnpike facility.
You couldn't go into this red area because it was
Right.
the turnpike.
Now you can't go into any of it.
Actually, you can see right here, there's a sign that was always that you can't get into this area, but you could always go the opposite way. Now you can't go that way because there's a gate. And I just wanted to know, when are they going to give us
That was the
that
single lane
access?
under 18 that
Yes.
came back up to Gage Road.
Right.
Yes. And as you see, there's like a sign that our taxpayer dollars paid for that shows that it's a turnaround area on Route 18.
But then at some point, it becomes part of the Department of Transportation, and it's no longer East Brunswick's. The whole thing is Department of Transportation, so we have no say whatsoever. But,
Well-
right, we can look into this.
Yeah, well, if it is a Department of Transportation, there is an area right there. I mean, if they're not going to give us access, I'd like them to actually take care of this area right here, that they store their equipment. There's numerous violations that's going on. Some are like OSHA violations for sound. There's more than 85 dBs that are bleeded over to East Brunswick from that area. There's storage of tanks that are not properly stored. There is, they should, and it's an eyesore to the people of East Brunswick. And if they're going to do that, they should put up a wall here. And that, by Governor Murphy, signed into law in 2018, that anyone that uses public land to, they have to take the financial responsibilities of putting up that wall. It is PL 218C90. And I just would want to know why, I mean, because this was always a way to get into our area, and we were always told that this wasn't going to be taken away.
Okay. So how about this? This is all news to everyone up here. And then you said a lot that I did not interrupt you with regard to what you were saying, because no, there's no guarantees that everything you're saying is in fact the law. So why don't you give us some time to look into it? You have my contact information. I'm sure you can get Mr. Crisculo's contact information. You can get the mayor's contact information if you don't hear from us regarding this issue within 2 weeks,
Oh,
a month.
They take a long time to get back to us, so.
They will look
I have
into
to
it.
get into the government affairs unit
Right.
and speak to them, and then
Right.
they'll do their research.
There you go.
Okay, do you know no one knows what's going on with that area? I mean,
Is
there
that the old Turnpike
Turnpike
Authority
Authority,
building
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
That's Turnpike Authority. So, yeah, I'll have to get in touch with them.
It's simply an eyesore.
It's an eyesore,
And it's a.
and it was like an access way into our neighborhood.
I doubt they're going to
Yeah,
restore
see, that's
that.
where,
No,
yeah.
it's
I
actually,
don't know about
yeah,
that.
actually in the surveys, it is, it's, sure, they own the road, so they could say any road could be like taken away. They can take away
That is
18
true.
if they
Eminent
wanted to
domain.
take. So,
Council
but,
President, if I may? I mean,
Please.
It was a emergency vehicle access primarily. Don't get me wrong, I've taken that little loop
Yeah.
numerous times over my, my lifetime, but I do believe if it's gated off, it does prohibit emergency vehicles in some access to the neighborhood that Mr. Conradi is living in.
yeah, and there's a lot of older people there, and, 15 minutes is a big amount of time.
Yeah, there's no other jug handle unless,
Yeah, they actually took away like the way that you would actually go into it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it takes about 15 more minutes to get into that area.
Okay.
10 to 15
Well
more
aware,
minutes.
sure. Like I said, we'll look into that.
I think we need to talk to traffic safety maybe
Yep.
and see if that's an issue
Yeah.
for public safety issues more than
Shoot me an
anything else.
email so I can open up this line of communication.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
I'll
I know,
I'll speak to you before you leave I'll speak to you before you leave here.
Council President, I
Please.
know that there was an issue with the new rest area facility where there was no gate, similar situation, and that in the bag of keys that the police officers have access to that gate is there. I'm not sure if they have similar access there, but that certainly may be a possibility because somebody brought that to our attention before.
Got it.
Mr. Administrator, if I may, just
Sure.
to continue this conversation. In regard to your indication that there's a bag of keys or whatever that PD has access to, does EMS have that?
I
With a
couldn't
private EMS
confirm or
service in
deny
town.
that
Right.
at this time. I know that usually our police officers are usually there first. So 99%.
Usually, but not all the time.
The issue is the squads with our, Robert Wood, they rotate on such frequently, a lot of times we don't want them to have those bag of keys.
Understood, but, then we have to have a greater understanding as to getting our officers to meet them or understand the logistics of how
I
they're
will check with
responding.
Lieutenant Gordon in the morning, so I'll check with him on the bicycle helmets and this particular item.
Thank you. Moving on to our consent agenda, before I ask for a motion or separation, I've asked Mr. Criscuolo to comment on a few of the issues because of their significance. Mr. Criscuolo?
Sure. The van, item 24305, that is a purchase for EBTV. If you ever seen the van that they're utilizing, you would understand this. So we're going to purchase this high-roof Ford E-Transit cargo van, which will then outfit them for another 40 years, just like the previous van. The water plant is the second item on there. That comes out of the water utility. The 3407 and 3408, those are for materials that we utilize in road maintenance or for the maintenance of the water or sewer systems. We went out to bid and got prices for each of the items most commonly used by the water, sewer, or road division. And that bid, we actually got some pretty good prices, and it will be good for 2 years. Item 309 is now called the STEP grant. You may realize in the past you heard things like click it or ticket, put down the phone, DWI enforcement actions, school bus safety program. Well, the state rolled that all up into one, and it's called the STEP program, and each one of those items are in there and they're funded. So this is really to accept that $50,000. Whenever the state wants to give you money, I'm more than happy to take it. Mr. Iacocca spoke on 310, and I just wanted to clarify item number 24313, the spreaders. That's for 6 spreaders. That's not for one. So that's for 6 spreaders. So that's for us to be able to put salt and brine down on the roadways when and if it snows. And if there's not any other questions, that would be my report on
Thank you,
the
Mr. Criscuolo.
resolutions.
Appreciate that.
Council President?
Yes, please. Do you need some separated or just a comment?
No, I just want some explanation. 24314, I understand this is a, third-party testing agency for the ice rink.
Correct.
I didn't see any other bidders on the resolution.
There wasn't any other bidders, right?
So this is
Tamara?
the only
The other
bidder that
one.
bid?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I wanted to ask.
Thank you.
I'm not looking for any reason to separate it.
Yeah, we
typically
that's-
see multiple bidders on the
Yeah.
resolutions. That's all.
Following local public contract law, we put out the bid, we let it sit out there for the required amount of days. We had a bid opening, and this was the result.
Okay. Thank
Councilwoman
you.
Winston, are you satisfied?
I am.
Good. May I have a motion for
Consent agenda.
consent agenda 24-305 through 24-319? Motion? Second?
319? Where's
317?
317.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh,
Thank you for that clarification.
yeah.
And a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
Council President McAvoy?
Yes. And we have 2 ordinances for introduction with a public hearing on November 7th. Township Clerk or Deputy Clerk, please read.
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code by repealing and replacing Chapter 192, Design Guidelines and Standards, Section 53, Stormwater Control of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of East Brunswick.
May I have a motion on the matter? Second?
Second.
Mr. Criscuolo, any comments?
Just so the council knows, we got feedback back from the county, unfortunately, when was it, tomorrow, Friday, about 1 o'clock, that they finally gave us feedback on it on the last day of cutoff. So the copy that you're really voting on this evening is the copy that appeared at your desk. that has the revised stamp on it, which has now been approved by Middlesex County. I'm glad they got it to us, so we don't have to repeal it and do it again. But this is the one we're looking at right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Was there a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
Council President McAvoy?
Yes, are you good? You positive? Ordinance 24-31. May I have a motion?
Motion approved.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Crisculo, any comments here?
Yes, this is for West Ferris Street, as we've had numerous problems with tractor trailers parking all along that road, including last week when we went to pave it, we put police notices out a week in advance, and eventually we had to tow them in order for our paving program to proceed. And then 6th Street itself, this is the industrial part, the part that's not the houses. So once again, we were having tractor trailers parked along there, causing difficulties for emergency response and so on and so forth. But, so that's the plan, is to make it no parking basically anytime, rather than every night issue them the tickets and we can't track them down. This case, we got their attention because we were paving and we towed them. So some of them got quite sizable towing bills and storage fees. So I don't think they're going to be parking there anymore.
Council comments?
I'm totally in favor of this. There we go. You know, I think, you know, as I brought to Mr. Crisculo's attention many times, and the mayor, there are many areas in town where tractor trailers just park alongside of the road, and, you know, puts us in a position where leaking oil, leaking different fluids and all of that onto our roads, you know, could impact us, as well as the passage of emergency vehicles. So, Mr. Crisculo, thank you for bringing this forward, and I think this is, you know, another item that we need to...
Yeah, when you actually got to watch the milling and paving operation there, when they were milling it, the hydraulic fluids, as Mr. Wendell spoke about, really destroyed that road. So I'm happy to bring this to you, and I think it's the right thing to do.
Thank you.
Deputy Clerk, please call roll.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
Council President McAvoy?
Yes. For the good of the cause.
Let's go Yankees.
Not yet, not yet. Saturday, November 9th, 2 p.m. at the Community Arts Center, a presentation on the history of our police department. So looking forward to gaining some more insight into the history of our town. I'll see you there. Veterans Job Fair, November 13th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the YMCA Piscataway Building. Go to the Township of East Brunswick on the web and register. For the good of the cause. For the good of the cause, free rabies clinic, not necessarily to have an appointment, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. In New Brunswick at their City Hall. There's parking on Bayard Street, cats and dogs, November 2nd.
And that was done in conjunction with our animal control contract with New Brunswick. They were kind enough to open that up to us.
Thank you. The mobile MVC unit will be at the VFW 133 here in town on October 29th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Or you can go to Assemblyman Sterling Stanley's Facebook page to find out the link to register for an appointment. Veterans Resource Clinic for East Brunswick, October 29th, tomorrow, right? The 29th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., VFW 133 Cranberry Road. That's hours. Veteran Affairs, tax advocacy, benefit information, healthcare, educational programs, all be covered. And Women's Club proclamation, we know who did that one. That's all I have. May I have a motion to adjourn? Those in favor signify with an aye. Ayes have it. Good night.
Good night.